Hey, my Married at First Sight fans, we got to talk about this. A lot had happened on the reunion part 1, and yeah, we're going to talk about the other thing in a different video. But there was some conversation regarding Morgan and whether or not the show, the host, and whether it looked like, she was not held accountable for her downfall in the relationship. And that's what we're going to talk about. Welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T. We're going to have a conversation video in regards to Morgan from Married at First Sight, season number 15, and this was part of the reunion part 1. So without further ado, let's talk about what the fans are talking about. Okay, so we know this was one of our 5 couples from this past season of Married at First Sight San Diego, and they actually started off pretty good. She was attracted to Ben was attracted to her, until the whole thing, we had that whole issue with regards to whether she was a nurse or not, which she did address on the reunion as well. But the biggest thing is that she felt that there was a breach of trust in her relationship with Ben when he was talking behind her back to Justin. And so it went left from there. Now, granted, we got to talk about some of the things with that part of the situation, but a lot of the fans weren't happy on how she treated Ben in this whole process. That's the part that they're wanting to hold, having the show or even the host hold her accountable for. So the fans are having an issue that she was cut a little bit too much grace when it came to the reunion that we just saw this past Wednesday. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that Kevin kind of pointed most of the finger over at Justin for Morgan and Ben's whole failed marriage. Now, it didn't look like from what we saw that Morgan, was acknowledged to the fact that she contributed to the downfall of the relationship. And it made it look like she walked away kind of blameless from the whole situation, which didn't sit too well with a lot of the fans. And the fans are not only upset with her, but the show, and even Kevin Frazier as well. Now, many fans feel that, they should have held Morgan accountable for her mistakes. Meanwhile, we did hear of a lot of stuff that Justin did and some shocking accusations at that reunion. And like I said, we're going to talk about that in a different video. Now, as we remembered, they ended their marriage early in the season, which ended in divorce. And instead of kind of talking over things with her, like I said, Ben turned to Justin for advice, confided in him, continued to do so, which of course made Morgan feel betrayed and ashamed. She found out from Alexis, which we heard a lot of that on the after party where Nate and Justin was in the same room. It looked like they were fine at that moment. And Nate even called her a liar. So, anyway, and of course we did hear about the fact that Justin had made their private conversations on a speakerphone and was using their problems for his own amusement. And then, in the end, Morgan and Ben split up halfway through the season. So fast forwarding to this whole reunion, it kind of looked like, Kevin suggests that their rift was caused pretty much the majority of the problem being pointed at Justin's involvement. Kevin asked Ben if he felt that Justin did him dirty, and all 3 of them seemed to agree that it was Justin's fault. Now, Kevin also pointed out, you think you're having a man-to-man conversation, but he's putting you on speakerphone with his wife listening. However, this did not sit well with many of the viewers who felt that her behavior toward Ben should have been called out. Now, many thought that she was too harsh with Ben because of what went down with Justin. Fans also said that she kind of brushed off Ben's original apology. And, people had a lot to say across social media about that. There were fans saying that, Morgan was getting off scot-free. There were folks calling her judgmental, egocentric, calling her narcissist, masculine, immature, condescending, conceited. And yeah, that was all in one post. What followed, there were a lot of other harsh accusations, and hey, there were other things that were being said as well. Here's my thing on this. There was a part of this reunion where Ben said about a month after their divorce. Now, all of this has been filmed between February 2022 and April of 2022, which was from day one through decision day, right? Month after they had divorced, he actually had a sit-down conversation with her. And it seems as if they're in a good space now as they fast forward to the end of August when they filmed the reunion and hashed everything out. Now, I understand that, people kind of want, hey, you need to be held accountable. The thing is that accountability was held by Ben to her and vice versa. So if they each hold the two people in the situation accountable, they got the accountability put upon them by the person that they were actually hurt by. So at this point, this is how I see it. And, I'm open for discussion. I know everybody's not going to agree with me. I'm okay with that. But the thing is that I know we saw what we saw. We did not know until the reunion part 1 that they actually had a sit-down powwow conversation, met for lunch, hashed it out across the table, Ben and Morgan. That private conversation, they got whatever closure that they need to hold the other accountable for their actions. And of course, we only get to see it in real time 6 months later, right? So look like they're both okay. Morgan seems like she's fine with hashing out whatever the issues that Ben did with Justin. And at the same time, it seems that Ben is also, gotten his closure from how Morgan treated him. We're not going to all get what we want as fans, and I get that. Do I think maybe they could have said a little bit more on the show instead of pointing everything at Justin? Okay, sure. They kind of need to stay objective and kind of balance that out. But I also put credence to the fact that the two of them sat down and hashed everything out. Because at the end of the day, it's about those two. They were in a marriage. Those two were in the experiment together. They both did things to each other. And so they both had to hold each other accountable and get the closure from it. So that's just my thoughts. Let's get the conversation started down in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Was this all Justin's fault? Should this been cut down the middle and everybody tend to get the accountability that they needed? And do you think that the show and even the host didn't do their part in holding her accountable? Or did you think that they did everything that they should have done? Let me know your thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel to receive all updates. And please don't forget to like and share. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.